there are two stories which I want to talk about, and I haven't decided in what particular order, but we are going to be talking about the Queen and the state opening of Parliament, which happened this morning, and we're also going to be talking about the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, William and Catherine, or Kate as some of you may refer to her as, but never Middleton. We must never refer to her as Middleton. We're going to be talking about their Pakistan tour. They arrived in Islamabad only a few hours ago. So I made a video, by the way, about their arrival. So do go and check that out if you haven't already. And we're going to be talking about those two subjects. So without further ado, I want to find the chat room and see who is about live. And of course, if notifications are going out, is YouTube being good? I don't know. Yes, apparently I think notifications are going out because some of you have found me. Hello to Georgia Sunshine. Hello. Mwah to you. Hello to everyone in the chat room. Jill says, thanks for sharing. You are more than welcome. Right. So I'll just fill for a little bit and wait for a few more people to get here before I move on. So what did you think of today? Did you see the state opening of Parliament? I watched it, and I also kind of live streamed it on the Royal Reviewer and Friends Facebook group. So if you want to see my kind of my live reaction to it, then head on over there. You have to answer the 3 questions, or else you're not getting in. So do make sure that you answer all 3 questions, and then if you answer satisfactorily, myself or the moderators, normally HM the King, will let you in, and you will be allowed in. So hello to everyone just joining. I can see you all there. How is life? Life is great. Thank you for asking. Right, first story of the day. I think I've decided what I want to do first. So I think we're going to start with the Queen and, of course, the state opening of Parliament. So let me know if you have seen it. Sean says, I watched the state opening of Parliament and I have some opinions for Her Majesty. Oh, poor Her Majesty for having to read that dreadful speech. Well, first of all, of course, opinions are your own. This channel does remain impartial and, of course, politically impartial too. But I will say, for those, because some people were asking me when I was doing my live stream on Facebook, whose speech it was. Is it the Queen's speech, or it's called the Queen's speech? But is it the speech by the Queen, or is it by the government? It is by the government. So it is on behalf of. She always reads the speech on behalf of the government of the day. In this case, it is the Conservatives, of course, led by Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So it is a Conservative speech. If Labour was in power, it would have been a Labour speech. But basically, it sets forward the legislative programme, try saying that fast, for the coming period, for the coming session of Parliament. And of course, it is basically a list of things that the government want to do. Doesn't mean to say that all those things are going to get through Parliament and, of course, the House of Lords, but those are the priorities, and usually the top priorities are read out first. So, of course, the overwhelming priority is Brexit. So Brexit was mentioned in the very, very first sentence. So, of course, the Queen has to read whatever is put before her. As is custom, like I said, if it was Labour or let's just say any other party got into power, it would be their speech too. So the Queen doesn't have a say in it. She just reads it basically. There was one thing that I don't think a lot of people noticed, and I haven't seen it in the press. So maybe it was just me, but basically when the Queen is reading her speech, she kind of always looks down and is reading the speech. But there was one occasion when her eyes raised and she looked up. And I think, it was a symbol. As we know last time with the Scottish referendum, the independence referendum in Scotland, the Queen it became public knowledge that she commented when she was on an engagement, and she urged people to think very carefully. Which of course people took as a sign of, that she wants she wants Scotland to remain part of the UK, is what I'm trying to say. I'll get there eventually. So people took that as her, that being her wish. Now, because there is talk on the horizon of another Scottish independence referendum, a second one, being of course pushed by the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon, its leader, of course the First Minister of Scotland. The Queen is unlikely to probably do the same kind of thing again, but in the speech it did mention about the government's commitment to ensuring that the UK, I think was it the UK stays together. Anyway, words, some kind of words to that effect. It was referring to the independence referendum that's being mooted by the SNP, and the Queen looked up at that point. She raised her eyes, and I think again that was another sign that she wishes Scotland to remain part of the United Kingdom. So I think that was largely missed, but go back and watch. I can't remember where it is in the state opening speech, but do go back and read that because her eyes definitely went up. So let me know what you think about that. Laurie Clark says, can't believe some are already complaining about why Camilla was there. Oh, she'll be Queen Consort one day. And actually, I have to say, and I don't think many people say it, so I'm going to say it because, well, let me know if you agree for a start. Camilla looked really, really good. As we say in the UK, she scrubs up well. And Camilla did indeed scrub up well. Her hair looked impeccable, makeup flawless, diamonds, the honeycomb tiara, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, and I think she looked every inch the Queen Consort, I have to say. Charles as well, with that green sash, looked amazing, and in fact I could just see him when he's king walking down there with Camilla, and of course wearing the Imperial State Crown. Now, one change was that the Queen was not wearing the Imperial State Crown again. Obviously in 2017 we had a very stripped down state opening where the Imperial State Crown was carried in front of the Queen. This time she continued that, although it wasn't a stripped down ceremony. She was in full regalia, apart from she had the crown carried in front of her on the cushion, which I think is pretty sensible. She's 93 years old. That crown weighs what, almost 2.5 pounds. Imagine that on your head. The Queen spoke about, only a couple of years ago that if you look down, the crown could potentially break your neck. That's what she said. So I think that's a very sensible concession to have made, and I don't think it detracted from the whole ceremony one bit. In fact, she was wearing the equally as gorgeous George IV state diadem, and she had the most amazing diamond necklace, the diamond collet necklace. Incredible. So yes, she looked amazing. Her white gown was amazing. The silver shoes. Did you spot the silver shoes? They were just stunning. I want a pair of silver shoes now. I really do. I know you're all going to look and find silver shoes. So yes, just really, really lovely. And I thought the whole ceremony went off without a hitch. We had we had a female Black Rod who was banging the black staff on the door of the House of Commons. Dennis Skinner did make a quip. I think I missed it. I kind of missed. I was trying to hear what it was. I think it was something like "I don't want to go" or something like that. So he did make his usual political quip in the House of Commons. I'm going to read some comments. Karen said, "I read somewhere that the Brexit vote was not to be a binding vote. Is it true?" Everybody agreed at the time that they would honour the referendum, and that's what people took it as. Parliament passed the vote on it, and of course, everybody thought that they would honour whatever that vote was. As you all probably are aware, we do not know at the moment what is going on with Brexit. It is very complicated, and personally, I think it's going to end up in the lap of Europe, because if in the UK the politicians can't decide what one way or the other what we're going to do, and of course I will remain politically impartial here, Europe may get fed up of waiting, and of course, the 31st of October was the extension date that was previously agreed. If Europe is not satisfied that we are making progress or that we are going to make progress in the future, they could turn around and say, well, bye bye. It's the 31st of October. That was the deadline that you agreed previously. You haven't come up with anything. It looks like you're not going to come up with anything anytime soon. Bye bye, you're out. So they could do that. So I think at the moment it all hinges on, will they give us an extension if Boris Johnson was forced to ask for one, which I know he doesn't want to do. Will he get around that somehow? We don't know. So Brexit is still very much in the air, and nobody really knows what's going on, I have to say. Yes, the Lady Usher of the Black Rod, Sarah Clark. Thank you to our coats. Let me scoot up and see. Hayden the King says, she said, you have to bring the speech up to read it, of course, because if you look down, your neck would break. It would fall off. Well, let's hope it doesn't happen to me with my laptop. Annette says, Camilla will be the Queen Consort, but she will never have my respect as Queen Consort. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I agree with you in the fact that I think she will most definitely be Queen Consort. Constance says, I must say that Camilla also seems to work very hard. She does indeed. Anne Lewis says the Queen's speech was much shorter than any of her other speeches. I think it was about the same. I don't think Her Majesty was impressed with the government by any means. We never know. We will never know what the Queen thinks because she remains impartial. She's a bit like me on this channel. Fiona thinks they all look lovely and Camilla did look really beautiful. And of course the children involved carrying the Queen's train. What an experience. I was just looking at them and I thought, what an experience that would be to have that role. That would have been amazing. Heidi says the diadem reminds me of Harry Potter. Of course, Hufflepuff's diadem, well, I think, wasn't it? Helga Hufflepuff. Jan says, you're right, that look was equivalent of Elizabeth II shouting. Yes, she looked up. There was a definite, like, pretend, I don't know, pretend I'm reading the speech. And she was talking, and then she went. It was a very pronounced look, and I think most people have overlooked that. Puzzled Halo says, I would have loved to see this speech. It's on YouTube. The BBC live streamed it, so go check it out on the BBC live stream. No, she will not be a princess consort. That was taken away from the website a few years ago. And of course, Camilla, in due course, will probably wear the George IV state diadem to the state openings of Parliament. Let's have a look. I think I've missed some comments. Let's have a little peek. Sean says, I don't know how the Queen does her job at 93. My grandmother can barely lift her hand to do anything at 92. She's a goddess. The Queen is a goddess. We all know the Queen is a goddess. She defies age and time. Most definitely. HM the King says, this is the first time that I noticed the Queen aging in the last 10 to 15 years. She never seemed to age at all, but she's definitely got more feeble in the last year. She's still every inch a goddess. She is. I mean, obviously, we all know that the sun is setting on Gloriana. We don't know how long the sunset is going to take, but there is still sun, and it is shining brightly, and the Queen will be, you know, she will continue to shine until the time when the sun setteth at last. And of course, then there will be a new sun, there will be a new star in Charles, whichever name, of course, he wishes to take on as his regnal name. But yes, I mean, obviously, she's 93, so we are going to have to expect some aging, but still remarkable. She still carried out the functions of state and her duty, and yeah, I don't think it's time yet for her to relinquish any of that, but who knows in coming years. No one knows if Boris Johnson will go if he doesn't get a deal. No, the crown will not stay in a case. The crown is always on show at the Jewel House at the Tower of London. And of course, on state openings, it will be carried in front of the Queen. Let's scoot down again. Oh, I think HM the King removed a troll. And of course, she takes the lift up. Our coat says the Queen Mother was 101 and working nearly to the end. She did. She still carried out official engagements. Sharona says, I love the Queen wearing the diadem and not the crown. Did she not wear it because of her age? Wait, yes. I definitely think it was a new, latest concession to age. Christine says, I like the Queen's long robe. Does it have a special name? Well, first of all, I will comment on the robe itself. I mean, just the Queen's beaded gown. I mean, you could see all the sparkly beads, and the weight of it is also very, very heavy. I mean, the entire outfit, and if you put the crown on as well, you're talking a lot of weight. So again, I think that is one of the reasons as to why she didn't wear the crown, because it is a lot of weight. And if you notice, she was very sprightly up any steps that she had to take. I think she even let go of Charles's hand at one point to take some steps. So, and of course she was sprightly. She kind of just like held up her dress and off she went. So yes, most definitely a goddess amongst humans. Oh, where's my tiara? I forgot it today. Lieutenant King says, nobody will be looking forward to that day, but imagine she has plenty of time. First time I seriously considered her mortality was this week. I know, it is sad, and of course, you know, it's going to happen at one point. Hopefully not yet, but it is going to happen. I miss Prince Philip too, but Charles did a wonderful job stepping in. H. London says, to me, Her Majesty the Queen should be named Woman of the Past 100 Years, but 1,000,000,000 years. She has been an amazing humanitarian queen and role model. She has indeed. No, it's not the first time Charles has attended. Oh, Terry's commenting about the Daily Mail. Continuing the brotherly split now. Oh, where did they say that this time? Talking about the aides that were made redundant. Well, again, we don't know if they were made redundant. That one could have left because she was getting married to start a family, maybe. And the King says, I had the image of Philip watching with a cup of tea and biscuits in Wood Farm in his farm clothes. I bet he was, just checking on the wife. I'm just checking on the missus. Oh, yes, Liz looks wonderful, doesn't she? Yes. Yes, I'm going to check on the missus. Yes, that's probably what Philip said. And he would have had a very, what's the word? A critical eye on proceedings. And I'm sure he would have fed back if he spotted anything wrong. Let's have a look. I'm just going to skip through a little bit. Yes, the pageantry most definitely is breathtaking. Now, I'm going to move on to the second story, or else we are going to run out of time. So, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have officially visited Pakistan. They are there now. So they arrived, how many hours ago? Maybe 4 or 5 hours ago. And of course, the first evening isn't going to be very engagement-packed. But obviously, as more engagements come in, I will let you know. Now, we don't know ahead of schedule what those engagements are for security reasons. So, like with Harry and Meghan's tour, we got a list of what they were going to do. This particular tour is very sensitive. So, there is a lot of secrecy behind everything for safety reasons, just to keep them safe. So, we will only know the engagements on the day. So really, all we know is what they put out from, which I will copy the link into the description now. So I will put this link into the description if you're watching on Catch Up. But this is all of the official information that we know at present about the tour. So do check that out if you want to know a little bit more. Now there is an article from the Daily Mail. Again, you can choose to look at it or not. It does always have the best collection of photographs. I'm probably not going to read the actual article, but I am going to review the photographs. So, this is the first time, I think, in 13 years that a member of the royal family has visited Pakistan, and it is to be their most technically difficult and complex tour to date for William and Catherine. And like I say, there are a lot of security considerations to think about and consider. The first picture of William and Catherine is when they are disembarking from the plane, and doesn't she look gorgeous? I mean, William looks good too, I must say. I like his suit, but it is just, a man's suit, albeit probably from Savile Row. It's a very expensive suit, but oh, colour coordinated as well. Obviously, Kate is in a blue dress, and William is wearing a darker blue tie. Now, that gown that she's wearing, the dress, gown, whatever you want to call it, is gorgeous. I love the kind of swoop neck on it. I like the, what would you say? It's not an ombre effect, but it's blended. It kind of blended with the blue, so it kind of goes from darker up to light. I think it's incredible. And in a moment, I'll probably find out who designed it. So, now this, if you scoot down a little bit, the photograph from the rear is incredible. In fact, who took that photograph? I think it was from the Instagram. It was from the Kensington Royal Instagram. I was going to say, because who took it from behind? That is a really lovely shot. Yes. Her figure. Doesn't she have an incredible figure? She really does. And I love the kind of swoop detailing at the back too. It kind of has a nod to kind of Pakistani wear, to Pakistani dress, while still having a sort of a British twist about it. So I'm going to give Catherine a thumbs up in the fashion stakes here, and of course William looks good too. Then we see them receiving flowers off local children. Again, what a really big honour that would be to present flowers to the Duke and Duchess. So again, a very proud moment, probably very proud families behind them too. Now the photograph underneath shows that Catherine is wearing nude shoes and a kind of nude clutch. There's no brooch, but she is wearing a very dazzling pair of earrings, which I love. Again, makeup looks impeccable, and her new sun-kissed locks as well are on show. So looking. Now one thing I have noticed, she has covered up her legs. She's wearing a matching pair of, are they kind of like silky kind of leggings, but they're slim fitting. They look very slim fitting, but they are poking out most definitely from below the dress. So she has made a cultural decision to cover up her legs, of course, out of respect. So there we go, and it is in, of course, matching fabric. So the dress is Catherine Walker. I'm not going to talk about the cost of it, but it is Catherine Walker. I'm not quite sure who made the trousers as well. I'm just looking. Maybe that was made by Catherine Walker. It could be to match the fabric. I don't know. But yes, that was yeah, I'm just looking. No, it doesn't say who made the trousers underneath. The shoes are Rupert Sanderson. There we go. Rupert Sanderson is the shoes. Now, of course, the newspapers are making references to Diana. Now, if you look, there is a comparison photograph between Catherine and Diana. I don't like comparisons, but, I suppose it's a similar colour. And of course, Diana has covered up her legs as well. And Diana's wearing a scarf. And you can kind of see the detailing in Catherine's Catherine Walker dress that kind of echoes a bit like a scarf. So there are similarities in colour. But the two styles of dress, of course, are completely different. But you can, it's an easy comparison to make, I suppose. Again, more photographs of them landing and being greeted. I mean, there isn't much more at the moment to come. I'm sure, overnight or tomorrow there will be a lot more to put into a video. I'm just kind of scooting down all the pictures. From now on, they're all very much kind of samey. Yeah, just getting off the plane, greeted. I mean, there is one nice close-up of the earrings, and of course that is, I think, aquamarine, possibly, in the earrings, which of course matches matches the dress. Oh, there is a few pictures inside, actually. No, it's not. It's from when they visited, when they had an engagement ahead of the Pakistan. So they put extra photos in, so beware. Some of those photographs are not from the Pakistan tour. They also found pictures of Charles and Camilla in 2006 when they visited. And some more of Diana as well. So there is a whole load of photographs to look at if indeed you wish to. I'm going to go back to the chat room and see what people are saying. I'll kind of scoot up and read random comments. Yes, Vanilla, that the Queen wore the diadem to the Parliament state opening. Alicat says, if you click the first picture and flick through on their picture viewer, it does state it is trousers and dress by... Oh, there you go. So if you click through and read, it does say Catherine Walker trousers. I can confirm. Thank you for that, Alicat. Fiona says, I love that colour on Catherine. She looked quite elegant. Those earrings are amazing. They are indeed. Seaside Mom says, hopefully William and Kate won't go on about... well, no, they won't go on about references to Diana. The press will. It's getting very tiresome and unnecessary. This tour can stand alone. The press will continue to do it, you can guarantee. Live, Love and Laugh says, the Prime Minister of Pakistan used to be a professional cricket player, plus he was married to Jemima Goldsmith, who was friends with Princess Diana. All true. PJR says, William hit the jackpot when he married Catherine. Oh, there we go. Alicat says, it's picture 6, if you flick through, that says about the trousers. Sharona says, what I want in 2020 is Princess Beatrice's wedding. Andrew's 60th and 70th, 2021. Prince Philip's 100th. Wow, that will be amazing. And 2022, the Platinum Jubilee. Let's hope we get to all of those milestones, is all I've got to say. Jan says, earrings and clutch designs by Pakistan designer Zen. Again, a cultural nod, which is kind of what we would expect at some point. Seaside Mum says, I think the blue pencil ankle pants are part of the whole dress. Yes, it has been confirmed now. Which tiara would I have chosen for today? Interesting. I don't know. Well, seeing as Catherine's wearing blue, I think the Victoria Sapphire. Hisham the King says, I think I'm in the minority when I say I hated Catherine's dress. She looked amazing, though. How can you hate that dress? How? Tell me how you can hate... What do you hate about that dress? I love it. Vanilla says, I made a lot of cute nicknames for the Queen. Cream Puff, Majestic Marshmallow, Lizzie Chan, and the Fluffy Majesty. Well, she does have the most fluffiest hair, doesn't she? Hair goals, I have to say. Hayden the King says she named herself Lilibet because she wasn't able to pronounce Elizabeth. Yes, so they just echoed what she was calling herself. Yes, the gown is flowing and gorgeous. Oh, Clean says it is ombre. There you go. It's like an ombre effect. Very nice. Anne Louise says, I love Duchess Catherine's dress. She could be wearing silk stockings instead of nylon. There you go. She could. Colleen thinks Catherine looks gorgeous. And Kathy G agrees with HM the King. But what don't you like about it? I want to know what you don't like about it. HM the King says, the colour reminds me of cheap plastic. Oh my god, cheap plastic? Really? Definitely not environmentally friendly. PJR says, there was also a YouTube video of the Queen at Holyrood in Edinburgh. What, when? Today? Most definitely not. She was in London, opening Parliament. Unless she can time travel, I don't think she was in Holyrood. Oh, do you mean of the Queen wearing trousers? She did once, yes. She did wear trousers once, if that's what you're talking about. I may have missed that comment. Ah, yes. Does anyone know if the Queen has ever been seen in pantsuits? Or trouser suits, we say in the UK. And yes, that is a correct comment. Actually, Seaside Mom says, HM the King, you must be banned because of the dress comment. I will remove all privileges. No, I won't. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on this channel. HM the King says, too bright a colour for me. Well, you have to be seen, don't you? You know, you don't want to get lost in a crowd. You've got to be seen in something bright. HM the King says, the Queen wore trousers plenty of times. I mean, traditionally to engagements, she will, you know, usually wear a dress. But obviously, of course, she's worn trousers before in the past. Right, okay, that's it. That's my 2 stories completed for today. So, I'm going to bid you all farewell and say that, what day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. Now, I have got a very busy personal day tomorrow. I am attending a funeral. So, of course, I will try and get as much done as I possibly can when I get back from the funeral. So if you don't hear from me for about, you know, a good half a day, that's where I am and that's where I'm at. So, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, unless anything crazy happens tonight, from me in Shropshire, goodbye. Mwah.